Welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is my YouTube channel, Just Count Me in Yoga, and my name is Sari Stone. I'm a holistic life coach, a tutor, and a yoga teacher. My students have been asking me for quite some time to post my classes, and so here's the first batch. These actually were pre-recorded during the COVID times. I recorded them for my job, but I will be recording starting in January 2 live classes a month, possibly more. And if you like these, please like, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram at SariStone2025 and come check out my podcast, Just Count Me In, about living your best life. And that also starts January 29th, 2025. I hope you enjoy your practice. Let's get into it. Namaste. For this class, you'll definitely need a mat. I prefer to have a wall nearby for some of the balancing poses in case I want to go deeper into the poses. A block or something you can use as a block. And then preferably a strap or a necktie, towel, t-shirt, any of those things will work if you want to use this to bind and deepen your flexibility a little bit. All right, let's get started. All right, so let's come to stand. Separate your feet about hip width apart. And then let's start with some deep squats. So just squat, circle your arms, squat, circle the arms, and then reach with your right arm, reach with your left arm. Bend in the knees, sitting back into the hips. So give it a squat, circle, reach, and reach. One more time. Bigger circles with breath. The breath fuels the body and really deepens your whole yoga practice. Hands at your heart center on the inhale. Sweep the arms up. Press your palms together forward. Fold is your exhale. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Now separate your feet hip width apart. Bend the right knee. Press into the top of the thigh. Bend the left knee. Then squat and circle the other way. Cross your arms the other way. Big squat the other way. And then left arm over this time. It's as much for your brain as your body. Right arm over. Back to the original. Squat, circle, squat, circle. Bend the right knee, push back. Bend the left knee, push back. Big circles, bigger circles, just loosening the shoulders. Bend the right knee, bend the left knee. All right, sweep your arms up on the inhale. Forward fold is your exhale. Come up to a halfway lift, and then exhale the air. Jump or step back to plank. Bend your elbows, come to chaturanga, or you might do this on your knees. Upward facing dog, and then downward facing dog. Step through, inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up to Tadasana, and then exhale the breath, arc over to the right. And this time, you're gonna pick up your right leg instead of the left leg. You choose to engage the obliques, grounding down more onto the outside of your left foot. Come to center on the inhale, press the palms, cross the other hand, and then pick up the left leg. Grounding down into the to the right leg a little bit more. Getting a big stretch. Come up to the center on the inhale. Back bend is your exhale. Straighten your arms, Tadasana, and exhale to a forward fold. Come up halfway, bend the right knee, go back down. Bend the left knee, just to get those hamstrings open. Bend and reverse. Tadasana is your inhale. And now from here, weight is on the right leg, step your left leg back. We're gonna get a long, strong spine to warm up the hamstrings. So lengthen your spine, go through the crown of your head, big line of energy here. Now you're gonna sweep the arms up with breath, and then forward. And then up, and forward. Last time, up, and forward. Now hands on top of the thigh, launch forward into your right leg. And you can have hands here, you can have hands at your heart center, you can have hands in front of you for warrior three. I'm going to say for this, it's key to flex that back foot. So I'm flexing my left foot, bring those toes down, nice level hips. Take a breath here, wobbling is good. Exhale, forward fold. Now from here, you can stay here or open it up a little bit of open hip work. And then cross your left leg behind your right and come down. Now your feet, your heels are going to be about 90 degrees apart. You want that angle. Straighten the legs as much or as little as you want. Walk your hands over to the right. And then over to the left. Just going to do this a few times to warm up the hamstrings a little earlier. We always warm up, but I've been finding that we need to go a little bit deeper lately. Especially if this is a midday or morning time that you're doing this. Okay, weight is on the right leg, left leg lifts, landed back, right leg lunge. Now left arm down, right arm up. Left arm can totally be on a block if you want. You're stacking the shoulders and then bending in and straightening that leg. And in, waking up that hip flexor. Two more. And then arm down. Come to plank pose. Nice strong core. Push back, downward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Right leg up on the inhale. Knee to nose is the exhale. Inhale, extend it. Exhale, knee to nose. Now step it through with a straight heel. Drop your hips. And then straighten that left leg. Left toes point out to about 10 o'clock. Come up. If your feet were hands on the clock, square the hips and circle again. So you're going to lengthen and circle. Uh-oh. Playlist and circle. That's right. And circle. And then hands on the top of the hip flexor. Launch, reach, lengthen, strengthen those stabilizer muscles. Forward fold, all the way down with that left leg up. Now the left foot becomes behind the right this time. Weight in both feet this time. Straighten the legs and bend. Now hook your thumbs and come all the way up on the inhale, arc over to your left, and then back down again. Just moving the body in a way that works for you. Hook your thumbs and come up. This gets into the obliques right away. And then weight is on the right leg. Lift your left leg up. Land and right leg lunge. And here you go. In and up. In and up. Close the arms. In, up, in, and up. Sweep it back. Push back to downward facing dog. Now step your left leg through. Bring it up first. Knee to nose. Inhale, extend it. Knee to left tricep. Inhale, extend. Step it through. Left leg lunge. Drop your right heel, almost like warrior one, but you have to shorten your stance. It's early in the practice. Climb up slowly. So it's like I have a belt buckle. I want to aim it straight ahead. Hands on the hips first to square. Now same thing on this side, and we'll put it all together later. So you're going to lengthen, sweep up. Lengthen, sweep, lengthen, sweep. And then hand on the left upper thigh, press your palms, or regular warrior three, up to you. You can have hands at heart center, you can have arms reaching. I'm working with an injury right now, so I'm going to modify. I'm curling my back toes. And the more I curl those back toes, the better balance I get for some reason. Breath out, lower all the way down. One little brief opening. If you want to open it up to a half moon, you don't have to. And then cross your right knee, right leg behind. Separate your heels so that you're close to 90 degrees. And walk your hands to the right. Feel that opening in the IT. And to the left. This should feel good. Now weight is in the left leg. Right leg lifts and steps back. Left knee bends. And then straighten and bend. And straighten, bend. Get that twist. Stack your shoulders. Waking up those hips. Arms down, come back to plank pose, bend the elbows, come to upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Step your left leg through again, left leg lunge. Drop that right heel and come all the way up. Straighten the legs. Shorten your stance, square the hips. And we're gonna fly it. Lengthen and fly with breath. Long, smooth movements. Hands on top of the thigh. Press to warrior three. Go down, cross the knee behind knee. Now hook the thumbs and come up. And back down. Hook the thumbs and come up. And back down. One more. You're gonna have to redo this, right? It's on the cool down. And come back down. Take your right leg up. Push back to downward facing dog. Back to downward facing dog. Breath in and breath out. Okay, one more time each side. Take a moment in downward facing dog and roll the biceps out of your ears. I'm going to fix this quickly. And from here, ground down through the heels. Bend your knees, straighten the legs. Bend your knees and straighten the legs. There you go. Bend the knees, straighten the legs, and bend the knees. Shoot forward to plank pose. Bend your elbows, come to chaturanga. Pass through upward facing dog or cobra pose. Here's cobra if you want to modify. And then downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Okay, one more time with our sun A. We're going to step the right, sun B, step the right foot in, bring the left heel in. And come up. So time will be different every time. It might take you a little bit more time, might take you a little bit less time to do this, it depends. Reach your arms and just flow with it. Hands on the thigh, reach it up and then down. Go down, hook the thumbs up. Just gonna do one more time each side. Down and hook the thumbs up. Step it back, right leg lunge. Sweep the right arm up. Now from here, swing that arm behind you. Drop that left heel. Scoot the arm all the way around. Deepen in. Just get a big stretch. Breathe. We'll be back to this pose. Cartwheel your arms down. Sweep the right leg up. Bend the knees, stack the hip. And step it through, right leg lunge. Left leg meets the right. Come up halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, reverse swan dive, bring it all the way up. Exhale the air, back bend. Interlace your hands behind your back. Tip the weight forward into your toes and come down. Now arms come up off the sacrum. Put all the weight in your right leg. Bend your left knee, noses to right knee. I just lose track of time when I'm in this flow. Come up halfway. And exhale, bend the left knee. Interlace your hands the other way. Bend your right knee this time, weight is in the left leg. Inhale, come up to a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg back, your left leg lunge. Drop your right heel in. So one time like this, come up and flight. Sweep and lean with your head. Push back into that right heel. Long, strong line of energy. I'm keeping my hips square. Abs are tight. One more. Press the hands on top of the thigh. Reach the right leg back. And drop it down. Cross the legs. Hook the thumbs and come up and lower. And up and lower. One more time. This side's usually a little tighter. And lower. Sweep the right leg back. Twisted lunge. Bring it up and straighten. Go into the knee and straighten. One more time. Come back to plank. Bend your elbows. Come to upward facing dog. Shine the heart through. Downward facing dog is your exhale. Come onto your toes on the inhale. Jump or walk to that space between your hands. Inhale, come up all the way up to Tadasana pose. Hands at your heart center. Now from here, we're going to put all the weight into the right leg and pick your left leg up. Bring it up on the inhale. Maybe you make a little hammock for your thigh, maybe not. You can give it a little squeeze. You can take your hands here and possibly cross them under the leg, under the foot. This playlist was a little different, so I don't know my time. Bring it up. And then from here, extend it back. Woo! Right leg lunge. Sweep it up on the inhale. Warrior two is your exhale. Bring it up. Pulse it out. And up. Widen the stance a little and pulse. And up. And pulse. Now from here, I'm going to step my left foot in, sweep the arms up, and push. Left arm back, right arm reaches, and push. Left arm back, right arm reaches, and push. Now again, I'm going to adjust my foot. Skandasana to the right, Skandasana to the left. Hook your thumbs, come all the way up. Land in warrior two. I'm going to pulse it up and open. Up with breath. And then close it and push. Right arm up, left arm back, and push. Left arm back, right arm sweeps. Move your energy. Let your energy just flow from your fingers to your toes. Now Skandasana to the right, Skandasana to the left. Hook the thumbs and come all the way up. One more time. Big land in warrior two. Pulse it up and deepen. One more time. And deepen. Close that hip, sweep the arms up, warrior one stance, and push. Left arm back, right arm leads up, and push. And last time on this side. And push. Skandasana to the right, toes are turned out. Stay safe with those knees. Skandasana to the left. Hook your thumbs and come all the way up. Warrior two. Extended side angle this time. So the most important thing about this pose is stacking your shoulders. That's all. That's the most important. Not over lunging, making sure the knee is behind the ankle. What I do if I'm finding difficulty in a pose is I find the parts of the pose that I can do, like I can reach through my fingers, I can maintain my breath here, I do have my alignment properly set up with my feet. Then I go to the alignment, and then from the parts that I can do, emerge gradually the parts that I can do once I've done the pose a couple times, or once I breathe into it. But most important, I know my priorities when I'm in a pose. Come on, up to star on the inhale. Horse is your exhale. So a little side to side. A little right, a little left, pushing the thighs apart, bending the right knee, looking right elbow, looking right, coming out halfway, bending and going in deeper, coming straight with the elbows, bending the left elbow. Stretch feels so good. Come back to center. Now hands up to star on the inhale. Warrior two to face the back on the exhale. Making sure that the hips are under the shoulders, you've got your torso centered. I'm going to go a little less deep on this side because I'm modifying myself today. Bring your arms up and go deeper. A breath in and deeper. One more. Now left knee or left foot comes up. Warrior one, foot stance. Push and then reach. Pull that energy. Bring that left arm up. And push. Right arm comes. Keeping that left knee buoyant, grounding down through the left toes, but my hips are squared in this pose. Left arm reaches up. Give it another push. And reach. And then Skandasana to the left. I told you there'd be more Skandasana to the right. Go as low as you want. Skandasana can be here. It can be all the way to the ground. Hook your thumbs, straighten your arms, open it up. Land in warrior two. And then open it to extended side angle here. Back to warrior two. Breathe it in and out. Slow, deep, purposeful movements. In and out. In and out. Close it up. Warrior one and push. Right arm back, left arm lifts and push. Feel that beautiful line of energy from your left toes to your left fingers. It's like a moving meditation. Now Skandasana to the left, Skandasana to the right. Hook your thumbs and bring it all the way up and around. Warrior two. Last time that we're doing this side. Bring it up and deepen. And up and deepen. Up. And now step in the right foot. Give it a push. Right arm back, left arm lifts. And push. And then Skandasana to the left. Skandasana to the right. Hook your thumbs, open it up all the way. Land in warrior two. Cartwheel your arms down. Now let's come to plank pose. So long, strong plank. You'll find a nice Cajun core with your plank here. Okay. So from here, you can step your right leg forward and then right arm up or left foot behind. Little tap and then back. And then left foot up, right foot a little tap and back. Maybe the arm comes up and back. Let's repeat that 3 more times. Right foot up, tap, back, or stay there without the tap. Left foot up, tap, whoop, and back. Tapped a little too far on that one. Come back to plank pose. Last one. Right foot, left foot taps. There you go. Strong core. Down to forearm plank. Okay? So forearm plank can be a bit tricky. We're going to rock it back and forth. Now you can stay here and rock. You can step out, out, in. Totally up to you what you choose to do here. They recommend this pose a solid minute a day to tone all the muscles in your core. So that's why I'm watching my clock. So we'll rock back and forth. Almost there. In my class, when I taught live people that I could see, I know you're alive, that I could see physically, we used to tell jokes during this time. It was so much fun. People would bring jokes. Okay, you're down to a minute. Woo, nice job. Bend up your legs behind you, windshield wiper your legs. A little side to side. Okay, now lengthen it out, Shalabhasana. So forehead to the mat, and arms up, legs up. And press the pubic bone right into the mat and just reach. Then arms alongside your body. Feet can be separated or zipped up. The body should be nice and warm now. You're in for 3, 2, and 1. Okay, push yourself up to tabletop position. Up to tabletop. Sweep the right arm up and cross it underneath. Thread the needle. Pick up your right shoulder and lay onto that right shoulder just to get that opening. Now that left arm can come forward if you want. You can curl the toes, engage your core. Core is nice and warm. Lift that back leg. You're in for 3, 2, 1. Come back. Now some of you might decide to get that foot and grab your toe and roll a little bit more onto the shoulder. We did that, I believe, last week. This also gives you a nice stretch across the sacrum. Take that little bind. You can also bind around this leg, which gives you a segue to birds of paradise. So you're here for 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and release. Okay, come back to tabletop position, 1 cat-cow. So breath out. Pick your left hand up and cross it under. Okay, now pick your shoulder up so that you're laying a little bit more on your back. Press your right arm out. Same thing. Engage the core. Strong abs. Curl these toes underneath. And then lift the right leg if you want. If not, just stay here, thread the needle, and feel the stretch in your shoulder and the rhomboids. So breath out. Now if you want, again, this right foot can come. You can grab those toes. Some of you might be able to do that, maybe not. And then maybe take the bind. You might be able to get one on one side and you can't get on the other side. Don't know. Oh, I'm close. That's all, just to feel the stretch and the opening. That's what this is about. Shoulders, hips. Take some tension out of your neck. Okay, maybe some of you might lift the leg, maybe not. And come back to center, unwind yourself. Come back to tabletop. Sweep the left arm up. And I'm gonna push you back to child's pose. Sit back. Now I've been experimenting with this one. We're halfway done with the practice. So here's your little tiny break where you can get water, come to a quick child's pose before we stop. Push back where your hips are nice and wide. And hands extended out. And then lately I've been experimenting with putting my left cheek down for a while instead of my forehead and rolling my forehead. You might like it, you might not. And then putting my right cheek down, just letting my hands be where they are. Just kind of gives me a more restful, restorative feel to child's pose. So take your child's pose you choose. Push up from child's pose, walk your hands back. Push up to downward facing dog. Okay. Now sweep your right leg up on the inhale and step it through, knee to nose, exhale. Drop your left heel in. Ground down, the weight is in the right heel and you're gonna come up to warrior one. Widen the stance as needed. Now your left hand is gonna be in front, your right hand is gonna be closer to you. Press the arms up and deepen in. Now release your hands. You can do little jazz hands if you want for fun. Breath, interlace your hands on the inhale, and then you're going down on the exhale. So humble warrior here. Now you can stay here. You've got variations. You can stay in humble warrior. You can take a bind in humble warrior if you choose. Back of the right hand on the sacrum. Left arm comes around behind you, sort of like we did. Some of you can even pop into hurdle or pose. If you choose for an arm balance, you can take your arm, put it underneath the leg, face up in your hands, strong in the core, and just play with extending that leg out and lifting that back leg. My left cheek can go down towards the mat. It can even be on the mat. You can work your way up and off. Okay, from there, push back, downward facing dog. And the other side. Step your left leg through on the inhale. Drop your right heel. Now come up slowly, slowly. Now for this one, to bring your right hip forward, your right hand is going to be in front, further away from you. And your left hand is going to be closer to you. So bring your arms up and gentle back bend. Bring that right hip forward. Now release the hands, a little flare. Have a little fun with it. This is your workout. It's your break. Lengthen on the inhale and then bow forward on the exhale. Now you might stay here. You might go to humble warrior. You might take the bind, up to you. Just let your head go and have a little fun with your practice. Breath in, breath out. Release the hands, sweep them up on the inhale. Star is your exhale. Hands at the heart center. Horse is the inhale. Another star. Now pivot to face the right and come forward. A little bit with the hips. Reach the right arm up. We've been here plenty of times. You're nice and open. Glide out. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Now you can experiment here with baby compass if you want, or you can keep your arm here. Sometimes I like to take a block and squeeze it between my hands, but you can take the right arm around and maybe take a little grab of your right hip, maybe your right knee. You're just reaching, stretching, or keep the arm up or behind you. Alignment first, breath, and then stack the shoulders, release. Hand on the hip on the inhale, launch it to half moon on your exhale. Now you can stay for a normal half moon with your hand on the block or on the water bottle, or to the ground, just looking down the front of your body, reaching and extending that back foot just as we did in Warrior 3 when we started. Or You can play a little bit and take your right elbow, put it above your right knee, and then maybe launch to your half moon here. Maybe. Yeah, breath out, land. Star pose is your inhale, Praserada is your exhale. Wide bright chest, shoulders up, back, and down your back. And then walk your hands right underneath your chin without tipping back too far. Now I like to use a block. I put my left hand on the block. I stretch my right arm up. Pick up that left hip. You can take a little half bind to remind your left hip to lift. And then come back down to center. Press your right hand in the block. Left arm up. Pick the right hip up. Maybe take that little bind, a little twist. Take a deep inhale and an exhale. Think about how lucky you are to be able to be practicing today. Breath, now walk the block out. Option here, eagle arms. Right arm underneath. I'm gonna get a little shoulder stretch. Left arm comes along with it. Now you might use your block. Just nestle your head right into your arms there, or you might go to the ground. One is not better than the other. It's whichever one provides you with a better stretch. So just let your head go. Feeling that stretch across the rhomboids, your shoulder blades, and then hands down, come up halfway lift. Oh, feels so much better. Left arm under. Maybe on the block, maybe on the floor. Give yourself some breaths here. Fill your body. Breathe deeply. We have this luxury. We can practice, whether you have a mask on for this practice or not. And now bend your knees, reverse, come up out of it. Come back up to star. And warrior two to face the back, pivot to face the back. Hands on the hips. And then reverse and glide out. Just give your body what it needs. Give your body what it needs. There's your alignment. You can come to baby compass if you want. Maybe arm over, maybe not. Maybe arm behind you. What's happening with your head? Check in with your neck. Maybe just let your head go. In forest yoga, that's what Anna Forrest does for tension in the neck. So when you're ready, you can come to a regular half moon with a hand on a block. You can always use your wall behind you for balance. As long as your hips are stacked, most important thing here is open hips. Stacked open hips. So take a breath here, then stack shoulders, reaching through that back leg. You can bend your left knee and bring your left elbow there if you want, or you can stay in regular half moon. You're in for 3, 2, 1. Nice. Come back to warrior two. Cartwheel your arms down. Okay, so for where we're going today, when you're warmed up all the way, we're going to need a little bit more opening. So you're going to bring the right leg up on the inhale, and then knee to nose, cross it underneath on the exhale. Come to fallen triangle. So I'm on the outside edge. I'm going to spin so you can see me better. I'm on the outside edge of my right foot, and I'm getting my left sole down, reaching the left arm up. So breath here and breath out. And then bending both knees. Knees are pointed to the left, deer pose. You're going to the right with your torso. Now you might stay up. You might drop to elbows. You might get your chest all the way down on the ground. This is a wonderful twist through the psoas. We're trying to hit all the major muscles. Breath And in yoga, we speak of chakras, or your energetic energy centers in your body. We want everything nice and aligned. Back to center on the inhale. Curl those left toes under. Sweep your right leg up and step it through. Right leg lunge. Left foot meets the right. Come up halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Gorilla's pose. Let's get a little wrist love. Back of the hands on the mat. Toes are up to the top of the wrists. Feet are about hip width apart. Straighten the arms on the inhale. And then let your head hang. Bend the elbows. Let gravity do the work to take all that tension out of your cervical spine. Shake it yes. Shake it no. Breath. And breath out. Go ahead, bend your knees and come all the way up. Tadasana is your inhale. Hands at the heart center is your exhale. Nice. Pick up your left leg and cross it over, figure four. Just a little bit of opening before we go back into the outer hip. Hold low, low, low. You want a nice stretch here. One of my favorites is pressing a block with one hand and pressing my foot with the other. Now from here, you can hook your toes with your left peace fingers, right hands to hip, and bring it up and out to the side. Nice opening there. Maybe for balance, here's where a strap can come in handy. And one. Go ahead and lower it down. Now bring your right knee to your chest. We did this on the other side earlier. And give it a little compression here. Cross your hands. And bring it up. Eventually we'll be extending the leg out in this pose, but for right now, we're just going to get that stretch. So you're in for 3, 2, 1. Remember, if you're wobbling, you're working your stabilizer muscles. That's awesome. That's just what we want to happen. Cross it over, figure four on this side. You go. Now we're nice and equalized out. Do whatever feels good. You can replicate the same thing when you're pressing your palm in a block in figure four. You just want that opening. We want to relieve the body of all that pressure that is on your tailbone from excessive sitting. When you're ready, come out of it and stand up on the inhale. Press your palms forward. Fold is your exhale. Now sweep your left leg back. Step to plank. And push back, widen your stance, push back to downward facing dog. Sweep your left leg up on the inhale, knee to nose on the exhale. Cross it underneath you, extend that left leg out. You're on the outside edge of the left foot, you're gonna base up in your right foot and bring your right arm up. Big, huge inhale, exhale. Bend your knees are pointed to the right, your torso is going toward the left, deer pose. Wonderful twist. We're getting our twist in a different way this time. Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little deeper. One side will be different than the other. And then when you're ready, come up, unwind. Extend that left leg back up, step it through, left leg lunge. Drop your right heel, inhale, come up to warrior two, and step the feet together from here. Now bring your right leg up again. We want to make sure we're evened out. We want to get this side, standing big toe hold. So we've done one figure four. Now I'm going to grab the toe. Hand on the hip, we did the other side already. You can do the parts that you can do. Focus on your alignment, focus on your breath, focus on your balance. If you want to take it a level further, the four corners of your mouth can always lift. Breath. And breath out, feet together. All right, let's play. Sweep your arms up on the inhale. We're all evened out. Exhale to a back bend. Straighten the arms on the inhale. We're going to come to compass pose and then wild thing. So our Vashisthasana 3 and then wild thing. Flow low on your exhale. Come up to a halfway lift. Exhale, step it back to plank. Okay, here we go. Push back to downward facing dog. There are many places to get on and off this bus, so many stages. Sweep your right leg up and then cross it underneath you like we just did. Now you can stay here, or if you choose, you can grab your foot with the outside of your left hand and extend it open, shifting the weight over the shoulder, looking up toward the ceiling. Breath out, and then extend, put your left arm down, right arm up, switch out hands, left arm is down, left foot is down, and then either flip your dog or wild thing you choose. Go ahead and close it up, okay? Back to downward facing dog. If you're like, oh my goodness, I don't know what just happened, we'll do it on the other side. Pick your left leg up, and then knee to nose. Cross it underneath you to your right elbow. Now grab the right foot, left foot with your right hand, and extend it out as far as you can go. This side doesn't want to go as far for me today. We've given it what we got. My alignment is safe. Breath. Maybe you're all the way there. Breath out. And then we're going to go ahead and flip to wild thing, or here you go. Go ahead and close it up. Push back, downward facing dog. Okay, lower down to your knees. Take the block. Good job. All right, hardest part is over. Squeeze that block between your knees. Doing well on time. Yes, yes. Give yourself a squeeze. Now hands up on your spine, curl your toes underneath, and loop the shoulders up, back, and down. Tucking the chin, long spine. When you're ready, maybe grab the heels and get a big opening through the front of the body. Remember to breathe. And go ahead and lower yourself down. Slowly, slowly. Now I've been trying this one. Instead of just taking my hands down to the right, I bring my hips also to the opposite side, to the left, and bringing my left arm over. Just reaching, getting that stretch. I find this is really restorative after a camel pose, because that's a very vulnerable pose. You're very open, and then other side, hips to the right, left hand down, reach the right arm, up and over, find your stretch, find your shape. Come back to center. And then one more set here. One more set as we're cooling things down. Almost ready to the cool down portion. Just going to do a little bit more back work. Okay, giving the block a squeeze. And I'll show you what it looks like against the wall. This is my preferred method because that way I'm sure I'm keeping my alignment. Curling my toes. You can do it with a block or without, doesn't matter. As long as I'm keeping my core tight. And I'm pressing my hips into the wall so I have a candy cane type shape. Tucking the chin. And then I find one heel, find the other heel, and I'm keeping that press. Tiny sips of air. And then lowering down slowly, slowly, slowly. For this one, rabbit's pose. Now if you're new at yoga or newer, you could feel a little lightheaded after that pose. Just take a moment to settle yourself. It's okay. And then grab your heels, tuck your chin for thyroid compression, and start to roll down vertebra by vertebra, grabbing the heels. Now the crown of my head is what's going to come to the ground. I'm going to adjust that as I pick my hips up. And then I breathe into that space between the shoulder blades. And come back down, hips to heels. From here, take your right leg out. Keep that knee bent. Left knee is behind the right. And then base up in your right hand. Yep, and pick up the hips. And this should feel really good, really restorative. Moving that energy, getting you all ready for the rest of your day. I don't know what time of day you're doing this, but I tried to design the class so that you could do it either way, crossing your left leg over your right, knee over knee. Go nice and soft, pressing the outside edges of your feet. Camel pose. And I've yet to even see a YouTube or anything of a camel that looks like this, but they got it from somewhere. Maybe if camels sit, they look like this. Pick your right arm up. Bend your elbow. Maybe you make the bind here. Maybe you just grab a finger. Maybe you use your strap. The important part of this pose is that there is no knee pain. If it feels tight, you can sit on your block. Coming back to the breath, and remember, which part of this pose can you do? Maybe it's the breath. Maybe it's the tall spine. And then release. Keep your left leg where it is. Bring your right knee around. Pick the hips up again on this side. And then lower your hips down. Cross your right leg over on top. Actually, this is cow face. I'm sorry. I also haven't seen a cow like this. That was camel. There you go. Bend the elbow. Breath. And breath out. Come back to center. Now keep your left leg where it is. Sweep your right leg around behind, and we're going to come to a quick pigeon pose. Setting up, facing up strong, and then you can lower yourself down. Now if this hurts your knee in any way, you can lay on your back and do reclining figure 4, where you cross the leg over. You can maybe rest your leg on the block. Maybe extend it out. Note that it's the same pose. It's just a different perspective on it, that's all. I'll do the modification on this side. Just settling the whole sacrum into the ground if I'm doing modification. If not, settling my hips into the ground. Okay, and then if you're doing regular pigeon, your right leg will go next. If you're doing modified, you'll just switch out legs. Go. Puff up. And then lower yourself down. Sometimes I like to take a block and put it under my hip if my hip is feeling tight. feeling this beautiful, beautiful closure, this wonderful stretch. Maybe laying down all the way. Just settling in, settling your nervous system, getting ready to reset for the rest of your day. When you're ready, roll over onto your right side. Extend both legs out in front of you. Reach arms long. Paschimottanasana. Grab a little cheek, pull it behind you, and grab hold of anything you can grab hold of. Lengthen. And then bow forward. And maybe you stay here. If you're having a lower back issue, you're best to stay until your back rounds. Bending up the legs, coming to an easy seat, reaching your arms up and twisting it gently to the right. It doesn't have to be a major twist. It doesn't have to, it could be quarter turn. And then coming back to center, twisting to the other side. Gentle. Feeling the settling that's coming in. So come back to center. And from here, cat, round. Really round. This is going to feel really good after that back bend. And then arch, and round, pulling belly into the spine, and arch. Extend your legs long out in front of you, lower yourself down nice and slowly, and come to your final Shavasana. Now if you want, you can come to Shavasana with your legs apart. You can have arms up. Take up as much space as you want in this pose. Hopefully this class will stay with you. We don't leave our yoga on the mat. It's not just another workout. That's why it's not really for, it can benefit everybody, but it's not really for everybody because we don't leave it on the mat. It does change you. And when you practice yoga, the practice changes you. You become a little bit less reactive. A little bit more able to stand in the center of our emotions when emotions are going on. And there's a myth that the more we practice from mindfulness and the more we practice yoga or the pathway to meditation, that our lives get easier, that we don't have to experience those unpleasant emotions. And that is a myth. The difference, the truth to that is that what we can do is increase our response time. We can increase that time between stimulus and response when something happens that throws us a little off kilter. So when you're ready, take your hands to your heart. And then thumbs to third eye center. Keeping a little space between the palms, remembering that's your place. But we can't flatline our emotions. We can experience them without flaming them. And stay centered. I hope this practice will make the rest of your day a happier, better place. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Thank you. Namaste.